C Collective, and
Collin here.
And we are ready to bring you part 7 of Ahsoka, Dreams and Madness.
Hey, it was good.
It really was. This whole opening was very like menacing, like the music and everything again with it.
Kevin Kline's just killing it this season.
He's
and
so good.
Also, again, Ray Stevenson too. Dreams and Madness was something he said in the past episodes during his speech. So these episode titles are very interesting, to say the least. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we start off this episode basically in the Coruscant, in this court. Mm-hmm. Like this,
we get Harris
like a Senate Harris, like it's basically like a Senate hearing, and they're basically seeing if she could be general still.
Yeah, you've got you've got Mon Mothma there.
Who's sympathetic.
Yeah, who's obviously Team Hera, but would also like a little bit more answers from Hera. Like she is Team Hera, and she doesn't. But she also needs something to go on, and she's like, come on, to get like my hands, they're tied here. Like help me help you, Hera.
Which is also a great way of showing that the New Republic's not having a great time. Yeah,
no, it's totally dysfunctional, disorganized. I mean, we even saw it earlier in the shipyard with the whole like "Long live the Empire." That entire shipyard
even before
building.
That with Tim Meadows in Mandalorian. It's been a common theme, and that's always something that was interesting in the sequel trilogy. Is whatever you feel about those movies, that it just all falls apart still. Again, the First Order comes up, and what happened to the New Republic? What happened to like everything they fought for? Well, that's usually what happens. So we're kind of just exploring that era and what actually happened. So it's interesting.
And Ziano here is he's just being a real dick.
Yeah, he's the worst.
He's just being a real prick.
He's just you almost think he's like a bad guy, but it's just I think he's just that. Like he's not a good guy. I'm not saying he's good, but like I don't think I think maybe he's a red herring a little bit. Yeah, like in the sense that like he doesn't believe in any of like the Empire remnant like going on and stuff, and then he ends up showing up in that show, the Resistance show, whatever it is, the cartoon series that they had. Yeah. He ends up being the father of the main character of that show, but he's even in that show very like stick in the mudish. Yeah. So it's like very much of a character trait. So I don't know if it's him being part of an Empire, like or. He'll just pick whatever team is on top.
I don't think that he is like a secret like turncoat for like the Empire or anything. I just honestly think he believes he is truly the smartest person in the room, and everybody who doesn't listen to him right away is automatically wrong in his enemy. Exactly, and it's like. He's just the worst.
Yeah, that's why I kind of think he'll just fall on either side. He doesn't care who's on top. He just wants to be on top.
Right. That's also very true.
So coming in to save the day, basically, before like also like Chopper and Captain Teva
are in here too. So like to be fair, it's not just like Hera and Mon Mothma. Right. Teva shows up and he even shouts out like, what about the stuff that's going on, on Navarro and like Mandalore?
So kind of cementing the timeline. Like, okay, it is like after that time. Right. So like during the Mandalorian seasons, we could figure it out.
That in theory, if you've been tracking since the Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, that they've virtually been happening in sequential order for the most part. Yeah. There could be a little
time jumps and
there could be some overlap and a little bit of time jumps there, but they've all been pretty sequential in that sense.
Yeah, like it's not going too good for her before like the man walks in to save the day. Actually, not a man, robot. C-3PO walks in and he's like, "Yeah, it's time to give some facts. This was all Senator Leia Organa's idea. So what are you doing here?" Yeah, like she okayed. Not her idea, but she okayed. She was down with this.
She okayed the mission. She wrote it off and like. Here is all of this stuff you'll see. And I love it how Ziano is like, no, what is this droid doing here? And Mon Mothma is just like, 3PO, come on in, buddy. Right. And it's like, that. So, like, that's the beauty of Mon Mothma. Like, that is Mon Mothma being
and
like.
And C-3PO as a device for Leia.
Yeah, and truly
he's able to
truly being like the mouth of like
a diplomat. Yeah, he's a true diplomat. So he's there to kind of give some facts and save Hera's ass a little bit.
Oh no, not a little bit, 100%.
Yeah.
The only thing now,
I do love Chopper kind of like going off in the background here too.
Yeah. You just hear him. But I do gotta say here, like with 3PO and everything being here, the one obvious thing is that like obviously like R.I.P. Carrie Fisher, but if like she would have shown up there.
Yeah.
Like,
but that's also kind of a good thing that these shows are doing is like Leia and Luke are doing their thing, but like it's over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is this story. You know what I mean? Like this is totally about this crew. Especially the rebel crew getting back together, kind of like,
absolutely.
Or like the steps towards that. So I'm excited for that, and I appreciate that they're still extending us like C-3PO and these characters to kind of remind us that we're in this era. So yeah, I don't know if they'll eventually do something with Leia, but I don't know.
I would rather leave it as it is,
and that's my point.
And that's the point of using 3PO here in this.
So because fans sometimes want things, and the studios hear it, and it's like maybe we don't do that though. You know what I mean? Like
maybe we don't do that.
Yeah, let's not.
And this is one of those times where it's not. And then after the hearing,
or recast entirely and like redo, like you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. That would be interesting.
Like at this point, like get her daughter to maybe even just have a more interesting role because she was in it. But yeah, anyway, so C-3PO comes in, saves the day, but also Mon Mothma kind of walks up to Hera
after it, and it's like, hey, like, don't tell me you don't have emotions with Ezra in there, because that's a lie, and we're not lying to each other here. How real is this Thrawn threat? Like, no BS.
Because she knows Thrawn too.
Yeah.
Unlike Xiono, who's like doesn't know what's going on really. He's kind of like this new Republic era politician, where Mon Mothma's kind of seen all the sides of it.
And Mon Mothma
has worked directly with Hera.
And has been there though for a long time in the fight and stuff in there. Like we're even seeing it back in like Andor and stuff to like now original trilogy, all of it. So it's great. And but yeah, you know, like Hera's like, no. Thrawn's a legitimate, real threat. Like we've got to be careful about this.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we've got to be worried about it.
And Mothma believes her, but like needs it. She's like, all right, cool. Show me, get me that, get evidence. Like, I don't know what else to do here.
Yeah.
So anyway, so.
And it's and then Hera's kind of like, well, that's where we're hoping like what Ahsoka and Sabine are doing right now.
That's what they're supposed to be doing right now. Yeah. So we kind of cut to them, Ahsoka at least at this point.
Yeah.
Kind of cutting through the and still in the whale's mouth.
Yeah.
You know, cutting through hyperspace.
And she's training, and she's got her like Ahsoka the White going. Man.
Yeah, exactly. She's definitely taken on a new persona. She feels lighter as a character, just like this episode. She feels and she's accepted Anakin as her master again. It feels like almost like, okay, Anakin was my master, not Darth Vader,
right?
And I need to take those lessons in and forgive myself basically for like being trained by someone who went bad, and also
it's kind of like
in that moment forgiving her now Padawan, who she kind of put all this pressure on to. Like she's like basically
to do all this,
to be like, oh, I don't want to train her, I do want to train her, I don't want to train her because she's gonna be bad. So, but I do, you know what I mean? Like it was very.
And if I help her unlock this, it's only gonna be bad due to this
like
tragedy.
To go through what she went through, and she's training, and she,
Well, the holograms are great, and like you know, she mentioned she's like, you know, Anakin. You know, left me like 20 of these like different holograms,
and he looks so sick with the pauldrons on from the Clone Wars era. It's so cool.
I love it, dude.
And he looks really good when it's behind the hologram.
Yeah.
The special effects are a little easier to take in.
And, dude, he's great in there. But we also get the talk of, you know, he's like, you know, this is more like facing more than just droids. Grievous. Asajj Ventress, Dooku, and when I was like, Asajj Ventress,
exactly, it was so sick.
Ventress.
Yeah, because if If you ever watch the movies, you all of a sudden he has a scar on his face.
Yeah.
That scar on his face came from Asajj Ventress.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's an important character, but you don't really know about her if you've only watched the movies.
Yeah, absolutely. And so again, bringing her into this like live action thing. Not saying that we're gonna see her.
No, right, but we see Night Sisters, which is a very prevalent thing because we'll talk about later.
Yeah. And like, oh man, and but then what Anakin's also dispelling as like, you know, practice, form, and all of this kind of stuff. Trust your instincts and like know that you will be able to do this, which is one of those things that is like kind of like one of those last things that she needs to hear almost from Anakin of being like, you can go and do this.
Yeah,
like you can do this. But also meaning like you can train Sabine, like you can do.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on here, and it's interesting when she's like you said, she tells Hu Yang that she has 20 of these. We've seen I think 1 or 2 in Rebels or whatever, but yeah, we'll hopefully get to see Hayden Christensen more in that aspect. Yeah. Or he's already even recorded some stuff. Anyway,
well, yeah. and Hu Yang's also like, hey,
I didn't know he was like a good dude.
Yeah,
also,
right.
No. Yeah, it was kind of like Hu Yang was like, oh, I never saw that side of him.
Yeah,
and you know, Hu Yang must have met him at some point because he had a lightsaber.
Yeah, right. He trained.
He actually had a couple.
He trained every Jedi or most of them for 2,500 years or something. Yeah, and he's still 75% original parts.
25,000, I think. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it's
But I love this exchange once we get back into the like episode a little bit into like what's going forward here. Hu Yang's like, oh, the whales have reached their destination, and Ahsoka's like, how can you tell?
Yeah, right.
And Hu Yang's like, oh, like the speed is
the variable speed. Yeah, he can basically tell.
He just turns to her and is like, the speed change is decreasing.
We've been going a certain amount of speed, and now it's getting slower. So she couldn't feel it, of course, or she wasn't paying attention. You know?
Right, or whatever.
But he's a little ahead of it on that. So yeah, we're in. We kind of see the T6 from out, and they're like kind of they're getting to the planet, which is like surrounded with these bones of the whales. It's basically the Purrgil graveyard. Yeah, and it turns into a ring around the planet.
It makes it look like Saturn a lot.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
This whole thing though is crazy because once they get out of their hyperspace and they're there, all of the Purrgil and themselves start getting attacked.
Right. Immediately, they're in a minefield.
Yeah.
Thrawn set up to where, to like basically.
It was proximity mines.
Yes, where the Purrgil were about to come. Proximity mines were set up, and they sensed Ahsoka coming. Remember in the last episode, the sisters sense they're coming, and he's trying to. He's using his knowledge of Anakin / Darth Vader to attack what her moves are going to be, and it's an interesting fight here.
Yeah,
because he sends some fighters off too, not just the mine. So, but like they get out of the whale's mouth, and
then those whales are gone.
Yeah, and they dip, and the protection's gone, so she's dipping through this minefield. Yeah. And she eventually she's getting chased by some of Thrawn's people too, and they take a few out, but they end up hiding.
Yeah, and the fighters get called back and everything. Yeah.
The Thrawn again is very calculated. Yeah, he's always willing to take that short L, and like in that moment to win the whole war. Yeah, but he's definitely gonna.
Well, because he's not willing to overextend himself because he understands his stuff is limited until he gets back into his proper galaxy where he can, start building up the Empire.
To whatever he's doing with all those. Yeah, coffins. I don't know what else to call them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, dude. So we get back to the Chimera. Yeah. Enoch is updating Thrawn. The minefield.
Which Enoch? I don't know if we've talked about that name. Translate. It's like it's a Bible reference. He was like a very strong supporter of God. The strongest of all. So, that's a very interesting reference considering, Thrawn is basically the godlike character to this cult, for lack of a better word, that he's
to the people or the people of the Chimera.
Yeah,
like,
it's a little different than the Empire type of rah. You know what I mean? It's a little more stringent and scary.
It
to be
really
honest.
is. And it's just crazy, man. But he also is like, the whales left, the Jedi ship is there, Ahsoka's still alive. And he's like, I need everything from the inquisitorial database, which is also awesome to hear about, like the Inquisitors and stuff here. And that's where we also get the other reference of like, this goes exactly to like what I thought like her Master Skywalker thought or like would do based on that. Back in Ahsoka's ship though, she's like, all right, well, we're gonna get pulverized if we go anywhere.
Exactly.
We still need to find Sabine, and like, Hugh Yang's like, I can't scan for Lady Ren without telling them where we are.
Right.
So what are we gonna do?
Yeah. So this is kind of a cool moment because we see Ahsoka like reaching out with the Force.
Mm-hmm.
While she's reaching out, though, the Night Sisters are also kind of reaching out, and Sabine does hear the call. And,
because we get
and Ezra's like, "What just happened?" Well, So there is this connection between Sabine and Ahsoka that is prevalent.
Mm-hmm.
But also the Night Sisters were kind of able to tap into it, hack in, and pinpoint where Ahsoka was. You know?
Where it was. But we also get a nice little scene here between Sabine and Ezra.
Oh, yeah.
As well. And, like, Sabine's just, like, waking up and,
she kind of, it's kind of like he just got all the information of what happened in the trilogy. You know what I mean? Like, it was like this happened, okay. You know what I mean? It's like beat for beat, he pretty much was going over what happened with the Emperor and stuff, and they were like, is he dead? And he's like, that's what they say, kind of hinting at the fact that he's probably not dead, we've heard that before,
right. And absolutely.
But their banter back and forth is totally straight out of Rebels,
but Ezra's also getting to the point of like, hey, so we've got to talk about something.
Yeah, can you tell me the truth now?
Like how are we getting home? Like what's going on? And she's like, well, Ahsoka took me on as an apprentice, and Ezra's like,
what?
Yeah. Like, again, Sabine's just
and like quickly takes it back and is like, that makes sense, you know what I mean? But like also, it's very surprising because Ahsoka's a basic almost master Jedi. Like she never got to that point because she left the Jedi Order, but you know what I mean? She was definitely destined to become that.
Well, they also blamed her for an assassination that she didn't do.
Right, exactly, yeah. But then left after.
Absolutely.
Made a choice to leave.
And
even when they were like, come back.
Come back, here you go. She was like, nah, I'm okay. Pass.
Yeah, which will come up, later in the next episode especially. But, we are...
So Ahsoka's also or Ezra asks, like, Sabine, like, well, where's Ahsoka then?
Yeah.
Is she coming? Or is that complicated too? And Sabine's answer is just... Yeah,
exactly.
We get a quick cut then to like Balon and like Shin with the red nomads and stuff. Yeah, and like again, we get back to the Chimera, and that's where the Night Sisters are. Like, we have found the Jedi Ahsoka Tano for you, Master Grand Admiral, and all that like creepy stuff. Mm-hmm. And like Huang still can't do anything.
This is when Sabine and her connect, and they intercept, and they send Thrawn sends some fighters back out.
Yeah, we'll send a couple of contact fighter group. We'll send the contact fighter group
just to not make it easy on her. Yeah, at least to
re-engage with them and stuff,
and to kind of play now that we know it's Anakin's apprentice. Yeah.
And then of course the Nadi see Balon, hanging out on the just over yonder on the ridge there. Yeah. And Ezra's to Sabine's like, hey,
friends of yours?
Hey, those friends of yours? What's going on here? Yeah. Right. And Sabine's like, no, but we need to go.
We need to get out of here, So doesn't seem like these dudes know how to fight well.
Yeah.
So Balon and Shin are like, they're at the hill. They're at like some hill, and they're kind of pointing off to the distance. So yeah, and we could also talk about when Balon like leaves. Basically, this is basically the scene when Balon and Shin are talking to each other, and Balon like split off basically.
Balon's like, go kill Ren and Ezra, you know, contact Thrawn, and Shin's like, with no help from you, and he's like, your ambition leads you down a whole different path in a different direction than I am.
Which we've talked about. It seems like he's been leading to this past couple episodes. You know what I mean? Like it's like. You need to start learning to let go because, like, I think I've taught you everything I could teach you, and like you said, ambitions lie in a different path.
And the parting lesson he says, though, is like, your impatience for victory will guarantee defeat.
Right.
You know, like, you know, you got to learn that patience a little bit. Learn to let go of like all of that stuff, and you know, like. Learn it.
Oh, if nothing else, Balon does seem very calm in moments of like stress and stuff. So,
dude, that dude is cool as a cucumber in all of those fights. He ain't breaking a sweat. He knows what's up, and that's what makes him such an interesting character. And it's such a tragedy that poor Ray Stevenson, passed away after production before this was released. Before season 2 were showing up in like Mandalorian 4 or Boba Fett,
it sucks.
Boba Fett 2, whatever it is, whatever the next thing. Yeah, he was great. I hope they figure out a way to bring Balon back, whether it be a recast in a couple of years or something. Like it sucks
through like animation.
Or throw him into an animated series or something. Absolutely. But he's too interesting of a character, and he was going on too interesting of a path to like not
let go.
Not.
I mean,
continue to talk about that stuff.
So this is kind of again they split. Shin and the bandits kind of take off. Then.
Yeah,
she's like, all right,
nomads.
fine. I'm gonna go take these guys down. I'm kind of annoyed with this. She's really annoyed with Sabine like all the time. It's like she's got this like just killer face whenever she sees Sabine. It's like they take off and they start fighting basically.
Yeah, it's like. They get ready to go. The nomads attack the caravan and stuff. The Chimera also sends out their like last 2 groups of like gunships, mercenaries, to go out there and support Shin and they think it's Shin and Balon at the time to go support them and like circle up around their like fallen members and everything about that. But that caravan attack is like. So cool because
it shows that like how the Nazi defend themselves and
they're good.
Yeah,
they're good.
For just mainly defense, they're doing pretty well.
Mainly defense. No real like blasters or anything like I don't.
Do have
they have mechanics
slingshot, which again I do think that's an Ezra callback to. Season 1 Ezra, he's using that slingshot.
Of Rebels, absolutely.
And it's a fun little thing because like clearly they're a defensive culture, and maybe Ezra was like maybe just like slingshots, maybe you know what I mean? I'm gonna teach you this one thing because you never know.
And but it's right. Like it was the right thing to do, and it's like okay, well we can meet in the middle.
But also it's funny because it's like that's not doing anything. But it does. It's effective in their way. So yeah, they are fighting against them, but Sabine is basically like, hey Ezra, you want your lightsaber back so you could just cut through them? And Ezra's like, I gave that to you, that's your thing. So he is in an interesting path here where he decides like, no, I want to be more defensive in his fighting style, which is clear he's been adapting with the Nazi culture. He kind of took that on a little bit.
Well, and then we also start getting some like also really great intercuts here with the Sabine and Ezra stuff, but we also get Ahsoka fighting in the air, and then her and Huyang being like, all right, we're just gonna do it. You're gonna do it again, and he's like, no, the last time you got seriously injured. Well, you're not gonna do it like last time. We're gonna do it this time. And us as the audience, we're like, what the hell are you guys talking about? And it's Ahsoka jumping out of the ramp to her ship to jump out there and to try and land and help like to give support to Ezra on the ground level,
and Ezra down in the distance. So she
so she wants to help him, but she ends up kind of rolling really fast because she was jumping out of a spaceship.
Exactly.
A spaceship and stuff, and so she starts just tumbling out there, and
she eventually runs into
Balon
instead so she has to face him again. So there's this interesting back and forth, and they're fighting now, and it's at one point she just decides like I gotta go. I don't have time for this. They both kind of are almost in agreement at that point. Like we both got other things to do. We're kind of going the opposite way. Can we just like brush past each other maybe? So she like kind of throws like a smoke bomb down and like just dips off on his howler and just takes off towards Sabine because she's very clear in her mission now. Before, I don't think when she lost that first battle to him, she wasn't, I don't think, as clear in her mission. She more wanted
just
end.
Was cloudy.
Yeah, she just wanted to end the map. She wanted to break it and not necessarily taking into consideration the larger picture of things, I guess. And so it's interesting.
And it's so great, and like then we get Sabine and Ezra, we get the lightsaber conversation, but we also start seeing Ezra doing the force push and stuff.
So cool.
And not picking up a lightsaber and everything.
But just pushes and just dodges, and then him and Shin are like neck and neck, and he does it to her lightsaber, and you could see the like bend in the saber, and it's something I've never seen before necessarily, and it's pretty cool to see. But the way they look at each other too is like, it's like a respect almost, you know what I mean? But also like, what's going on there?
Yeah, it's crazy. We get Huang coming in too as well with like shooting some shots and everything. Those troopers arrive.
Yeah, as Ahsoka arrives to kind of like
right, like so the troopers
kind of like it says hi real quick, like hey, nice to see you, but we gotta fight.
Thrawn also calls out. Then at this point, we get a quick look back at the Chimera, and Thrawn's like, where is our Balon?
Yeah, he noticed Balon left,
and isn't there.
Morgan basically, and Morgan's like, what?
Yeah,
because she never knew. Nobody knew. I don't think except Balon what he was up to.
No, Balon always.
I still don't know what Balon's up to. So
fair. Nobody really knows what Balon's up to, but we do know that Balon always had an ulterior motive of wanting to go here.
Yeah.
From the first, like from here, from this point, especially the split with like Ahsoka on how he doesn't go chasing after her. He's like, meh. Yeah. And like really just.
And
leaves.
Ultimately, I've noticed the cracks already in the like as strong as Thrawn and everyone appears to be, and the dark characters in this like might come out on top every once in a while. It does. You see the cracks in the sense that everyone has their own motives.
Yes.
Whereas like Ahsoka and Sabine and Ezra, they're all trying to do one thing basically right now. At least now they're starting to get on the same page, which is, hopefully a good thing.
Absolutely. But this, all of this stuff. Now we get even more intercuts and this awesome battle stuff of like again the lightsaber like bending the. Sabine and Ezra just like running around there, the naughty like helping with their little like whatever. We also get intercuts with like the Chimera and like Thrawn being like basically at the end, like the troopers are gone, they're more or less defeated. Thrawn calls them back.
Took a few ships down. They're basically fought off a few
but Thrawn brings up one true fact that like I didn't even think about like the first time watching this until he said it was Ahsoka Tano lost the one thing that she could not do today, and that is time.
Yep. Because
we find out and we see that the little coffin things are almost completely done being filled and moved from the tower, I guess, into the Chimera.
And
now.
Morgan is talking to him right here at this point, and she doesn't look very happy with. She's like, "Wait, what?" You know what I mean? Like, she's not seeing the larger picture right now yet, at least. But again, ulterior motives. Everyone has their own thing going on right now, and it's very funny to see because he's like, "Yeah, no, we're good. I'll take that loss." Get them back, get everyone back. We're about to leave. What do you mean? Like, this was great. Like, we just got a bunch of time wasted because she wanted to go save her friends instead of coming to defeat me. Nice. Yeah. That's awesome.
Which she which is also the weird thing that Thrawn is kind of saying that she could have almost done by herself had she just gone to him.
Yep.
Instead of trying to save them and waste that time and stuff. But then we get another crazy twist here of Ahsoka in the full change to the Ahsoka the White here. She offers Shin to come with them.
Yeah.
And I will help you. I will train you as well with Sabine. And I'm kind of like, Ahsoka, are we getting in the Ahsoka school now?
Yeah, exactly.
Or are you going to ship Shin off to Luke in his school?
Right. No, I just love the idea of redemption. And I
agree.
Yeah, and I just love... but she runs away like a scared puppy. She's no, I got my own thing going on.
Yeah.
And she runs off Shin. But it seems that Ahsoka has still compassion for Shin. It's not necessarily hatred, even though her master literally almost killed her. Or did kill her, you know what I mean? And it definitely defeated her in battle.
Yeah.
And there's no resentment. It's more like, I see something else in you also. That,
I also loved the Sabine and Ahsoka reunion here.
And the Ezra Ahsoka.
Well, right?
First,
they were
first with them too.
Yeah, because Sabine genuinely looks relieved and so truly happy.
Because I thought you were dead. Yeah.
I thought you were dead, or I thought you really just weren't coming after me. Kind of thing. And
she literally thought she was dead from the last. She saw her almost fall off a cliff, and then that was it.
But
and then Ezra's wait, what? You thought she was what? You didn't tell me.
You told me she was coming or here to help. What?
So it's funny. But it's also Ahsoka doesn't. She's over this. She's over that. I don't know if Sabine knows that yet, but Ahsoka is definitely seemingly. Whatever. What's up, Ezra? How you doing? I haven't seen you in a while.
Has moved past this, exactly. The Na'vi come out all kind of peeking,
yeah, we good? And Ezra's
yeah. They're friends. They're friends. Come on. They're friends. And then he's he says I've got a feeling I might be
very hopefully, yeah.
I've got a feeling I might be going home after.
But the music cues,
man,
right? They did not sound as hopeful. But it's
And then
I did not feel like I was gonna go home.
That was the end of the episode. And
Hope.
this episode is great, man.
Yeah, it ends on a hopeful note, kind of.
Yeah.
And maybe Ezra will go home.
It was super sweet. It was great to watch. I love this episode. Doing the rewatches for these have been really great. I've enjoyed it a lot. Can't wait to watch the season finale.
Oh yeah,
super stoked for that. Super stoked. So with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up Ahsoka Part 7, Dreams and Madness. I am JimmE with the Triple C Collective.
I'm Collin.
And we hope you all stay safe. Please like and subscribe to this video and to our channel. And as always, may the Force be with you.